little bit different today. I'm out at the village pond, and you can see there's one more fisherman here, and he's actually just shouted over that he's a subscriber and he really likes my videos. So I haven't caught his name yet, but shout out to you, mate. And so today I'm being brutally honest, I'm going to try and catch a rudd with an artificial lure or fly. That's the challenge, and if I don't do it today, I'm going to keep trying. So the last time I was here, I was fishing maggot, and just as the maggots were hitting the water, the rudd were grabbing them off the top, so it kind of got a bee in my bonnet about coming back and fly fishing it. Obviously I need to get some practice in the fly rod. I haven't picked it up for 18 months, and what with the trout streams nearby, you know, I'd be mad not to give it a go, and I think it'd be a really rewarding way of catching fish. I've never caught a fish with a fly yet. I've only been a few times and not actually managed a fish, and that was a long time ago. So I'm going to give it a go. I've just got some little flies that I got off eBay, and I've also been given by a subscriber some trout magnet, tiny little jigs. He's given me, his name's Mel. I'm going to dedicate this video to Mel actually, because he's been really helpful, provided me with some tackle. I had a bit of a mishap, lost a bag when I was out on the train, and it had 3 reels in it and one of my GoPros. So that was a bit of a blow psychologically and financially. And I've been chatting to Mel. He's one of my subscribers, and I mentioned just about the mishap, and he very kindly sent me some tackle that he doesn't use anymore to get me back going, and he sorted me out with a couple of reels. Actually, he sorted me out with 5 reels, which enabled me then to be able to buy a replacement GoPro for the one I'd lost without having to replace the reels. And so he's got me back out and going again on the video, so I can't thank him enough. And he doesn't want me to use his surname or anything like that. He just goes by the name of Mel. And just dedicate this video to you, mate, and many thanks, because you really have got me back going again. So yeah, and I mean, I've been blown away by the generosity of some of the people that I've been speaking to. And these are these are not companies or anything like that. These are just everyday people that have, you know, sent me some bits that they like to use and stuff like that. And yeah, it's fantastic. And I've got some more dedication videos to do, but I'll come to those further down the series. So let's try. And so I'm just going to start with the fly. I'm going to try and fish the little jigs on the fly rod as well. I've got a conventional lure fishing rod and reel with me as well, because it is a bit windy. So yeah, the main thrust of the challenge is to try and catch one of these small little rudd that seem really hungry on an artificial fly or lure. When I was here, it was like those really hot days, the end of March, and now it's really chilled down. It was frosty last night, so I think probably I've come a bit early, to be honest. It might be later in the summer that I get this challenge completed, but we can but try. That's a bite. Oh, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Yes, I am. You've no idea. It's the first fish I've ever caught with a fly. It is a bit, to be honest. Look at that, guys. I've caught a roach on the fly. I'm absolutely ecstatic. I can't believe I've done that. I couldn't believe it. I'm blown away. I'm so pleased with this fish. You've no idea what this fish means to me. This is absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy. Well, guys, I've only been here about 45 minutes, saying I thought I was going to be here all day and not even get a nibble. You know, when you sort of, I'm so happy I've caught a fish with a fly, and it's a coarse fish, and it's just in this little village pond. That fish just, I'm so excited. I just want to jump around. I am absolutely blown away by that. I know to you, like, you just caught a tiny little roach probably, but yeah, you know, when it's just one of those methods where it just looks like a right faff, and it is a faff fly fishing. I'm all surrounded by thorny bushes and trees. I've had it all over the place. I was getting frustrated. I've moved swims because I saw a few little fish rising, you know, and I've only seen that on YouTube. Someone's like, you know, they're totally awesome fishing, cast to the rises. I know he's going for trout and stuff like that, but yeah, what can you do? I've put a tiny little like strike indicator thing, like a little, it's actually one of the trout magnet floats on there. I'll show you that in a second. I'll show you the fly I'm using. It's just like a, I don't even know what kind of fly it is. I don't even know what they're called flies, to be honest. Like I think it's a nymph, because it's got like wing type things on it. But yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. I'm so happy with that fish. So yeah, well, the challenge is done, but I'm going to obviously carry on. I'm going to try and go all day. I'm going to see if I can get a few more. Who knows what else is in here? There might be something bigger, and then I might have a go with the trout magnet as well. But yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Okay, right, so I've missed a couple of bites there, guys, which is frustrating. This wind, it's actually when the wind sort of catches it and sort of drifts it through the water, which I think is a method, like drift, I don't know what they call it. I don't really know or any of the terminology for fly fishing. This is all so new to me, but yeah, I've obviously missed a couple of bites there, which is a bit frustrating, because I don't suppose they come that often fly fishing. So on a day like this, I want to be trying to get every single one. So I think there's definitely loads more to learn. If you guys have got any tips, then do comment and let me know. If you know any good channels, I know a couple of fly fishing channels, the name of them escapes me at the moment, that I do enjoy watching, but I don't watch that much of it. So if there's anything you guys can recommend, then please. Well, guys, would you believe it? Just literally as the GoPro battery bleeped to tell me it needed to change and it died, I got one of these. That's the, you can see the little bobber there down the line. That's the trout magnet bobber. He's absolutely inhaled. I don't know if that will focus down there. He's absolutely inhaled the little tiny fly. I'll try and hopefully you would have seen that by now. I couldn't film it out on the field, but let's get him unhooked and get him back. But yeah, another cracking fish, and the second fish on the fly, and absolutely brilliant. Probably the best fish I've ever had out of this pond. Brilliant. Cool, they're good fish. My goodness. My goodness. How about that then, guys, for a roach? That is absolutely cracking roach. Just excuse a bit of tape on my thumb there. I cut my hand and I didn't have any plasters at home. So yeah, anyway, I mean, that is just a brilliant roach. It's a really good specimen roach. That's, you know, that is absolutely lovely, especially with this little pond. And I'd only had nothing but tiddlers out of it. It just goes to show, just, you know, switching from bait to this little fly, which is a form of lure fishing, has just brought a better fish. I'm so happy. I'm having the whale of a time. It's chucking it down now, but I am absolutely having one of the best fishing sessions I've ever had. I'm having a fantastic day. I'm so happy. You cannot believe it. I am chuffed. Oh, I'm in again. I do not believe this. This is just... Oh, it's a rudd. Oh, I need to get used to using this. Look at that. Golden rudd, is that, or a normal rudd? I don't know. The classic there, just with the upturned mouth, and that's really what I was expecting to catch on the fly, because everyone's told me that rudd are you know, a species that you can really target with fly, and I know some of the trout fishery stock some really big ones, so that is absolutely lovely. I'm well pleased with that. I can't, I don't know what I'm doing with this. Oh, there you go, guys, cracking. Another little rudd there. The rudd are definitely a smaller stamp, but absolutely brilliant to catch it on a fly. I'm so pleased with that. Right, so what I'm doing, guys, hopefully you can, I don't know if you can see this, so because I'm using this strike indicator, I don't know why I'm calling it that, it's a float, but when you're fly fishing, people call them strike indicators, apparently, from the YouTube I've watched. I mean, I am such a novice at this. I probably should have actually done a bit more research into what's going on, so I could talk about it a bit more coherently than I'm doing. But what Just wipe the lens. I don't know if it's getting rained on, probably. So what I'm doing is I'm fishing it. It's probably about 2 foot away from the float, and it's a sinking fly, and it's an intermediate leader I'm using. But the fly's tied with a bit of copper wire on it, and so it sinks quite quickly. And so what I do is I just let it sink, and then I just bring it just like a tiny little, like I've pulled that through a little tiny bit, as I expect you can see, and just move it like that. And you can just either, sometimes you don't even see the float move, and you actually just feel the fish tugging, or well, one of them, the float just bobbed right under. So yeah, I know I'm fully aware I've got a lot to learn. The casting, I've kind of just adapted a coarse method of casting. I don't think I'm doing a proper fly cast, as I'm not really, that's sort of, I suppose. Yeah, anyway, that's just to give you an idea of actually what I'm doing, how I'm fishing it. It's sort of akin to lure fishing, I suppose, isn't it? Trying to tempt a fish into eating, thinking something's food when it isn't food. But I've caught a few fish, so I'm absolutely chuffed. I'm having a whale of a time, as I expect you would have gathered from my exuberant talking. Bloody hell. Another absolutely cracking roach. It's just, I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed that there are a bit better roach in here. I just thought they were all tiddlers. I suppose if there's small ones, there's got to be bigger ones. But yeah, that's just fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. On the fly as well. That was, again, just in front there. Just kind of let it settle for a couple of seconds, and then just twitched it, and I just saw the strike indicator just kind of just shake just as it touched it. And another one there, guys. This is almost like using maggots. This is just amazing. This is really, really, really great fun. It's just brilliant. I'm really having a really, really good time. And another one, guys, and this is with no loose feed, no ground bait, no nothing, just fishing that, which is basically some tiny bits of feather, some fluff, and some gold wire on a size 20 or 18 hook. I honestly didn't think I was going to catch anything today, so yeah, I'm blown away. Oh, blimey, that was a hungry, hungry fish. And another cracking roach. So it's all been roach, really, apart from a couple of little ruds, and the roach have been the better fish, which has sort of surprised me, because I always thought rudd would be the ones to go for flies, and I mean, I've not really come across many people saying they've caught roach on flies. You see quite a few dace and chub in rivers, but then I suppose not that many people fish ponds for coarse fish with flies, or, well, I don't know, maybe they do. I think that's actually a roach with a damaged mouth, not a rudd, even though it's got a slightly bigger bottom lip, although it's a bit greeny. Maybe it is a rudd. It's quite hard to tell when they're that size. What do you guys reckon? Well, what a session, guys. Absolutely ecstatic with that. Absolutely, I would have been happy with them fish just float fishing with maggot, to be honest. I would have been more than happy with that, but to catch them on a fly at the first time of asking for coarse fish is just brilliant. I'm so chuffed. I can't say how pleased I am, to be honest. It's just, I feel like I've taken another sort of step on becoming a good all-round angler, you know, adding another string to my bow, and knowing that, you know, if I fancy it, I can just go fly fishing, and you know, now I've caught, just having that confidence to say that you've caught a fish, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? You know, I can remember the first time I started the first time I went out lure fishing and caught a fish, and actually just specifically just with a lure fishing rod. It was a perch. I think I actually got it on one of my early videos, and it was such a good feeling. And I've just got that feeling again with fly fishing. The wind's getting up as well. I wanted to do a bit of a debrief really on just kind of really what I've learned. So obviously casting, I need loads more practice. If I needed to get any sort of real distance out into the middle of the pond, I would have struggled today. The wind was a big factor. So the first fish, the wind was blowing across me, and I've come around to the other side of the pond to get the wind behind me. And it would normally be blowing prevailing southwesterly, but because of this unseasonably cold weather, it's as northeasterly, and so it's cold and blowing behind me now, and that made it a lot easier. That made it a real lot easier. In terms of the actual sort of fly leader, the tapered fly leader, which goes on the end, I'm kind of assuming you've got some little bit of knowledge here about fly fishing. You know, basically you've got the fly line, as you would have seen, is like a thick line, and then at the end you've got a like a monofilament that's tapered, and then on the end of that, to save, because you don't want to break that, because they're expensive to buy. Well, they're not expensive, but they're, you know, they're a bit of the tackle rather than just line that you can sort of, you know, it's not a hook link, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And then I've got a little stainless steel ring. But what I'll do is I'll when we get home, because it's a bit cold and everything, I'll talk you through the fly I was using, the little float I was using, the line. It's the rod I'm using is a Matt Hayes fly fishing kit I got on Amazon. It was 60 quid. I'm not going to stand here and recommend it because the rod's quite heavy, and there was like a little decal thing on the reel that's fallen off, and it looks a bit unsightly. Other things sort of you have to think about, and I hadn't really considered, is sort of where it's all sort of scrubby and you've got the line at your feet. I walked on it a couple of times and kind of sort of stamped it into a reed bed, and that, you know, and then that obviously got in a tangle and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's just loads of other, it's lots of different things to think about. It is a different discipline of fishing, there's no denying it, but so satisfying to catch fish. Really, really nice. And it's a soft rod. I think it's a 7 to 8 weight or something like that, or 6 to 7. I'm not even sure on all that. But what I'll try and do is I'll come back to you in a bit. So this is it. I'll sign off the video properly a bit later. But I just wanted a bit of a sort of a bit of a debrief on the session. I'm not going to film any more for this particular episode. I might hang about and have a go with a trout magnet, but I'm definitely going to do a video with the trout magnet stuff here again, because if the fish are taking flies, then there's no reason why they wouldn't take microscopic little soft plastics as well. So watch out. Hopefully then that'll be next week's video, will be a trout magnet one, and I'll try and make it a video that I'll post regardless whether I catch a fish or not, which I don't always do, but we'll try. Anyway, I'll leave it there. My arm's aching now, so I'll leave it there, and I'll come back to you with a bit of the gear I was using when I get home. Well guys, so this is just after the fly fishing session. I couldn't resist. I run out of, I'm not filming anything. I just thought I'd just give it a go, and a couple of casts and wallop. What a cracking rud on a lure. First coarse fish I've ever caught that's not a predator or predatory fish on a lure targeting them. I hooked a bream once and I had a roach drop shot him once, but this is just absolutely fantastic. I'm chuffed to bits with this. This is brilliant. Well, guys, as promised, here's a little rundown now I'm back home of what I was using. The rod I was using is a Matt Hayes thing. It's called an Adventure Fly. It's 8 foot. It's a 6 to 7 weight. It's got a normal eye at the base and then just twisted wire, sort of fly rod eyes. I consider normal fly rod eyes, which allow the thick fly line to pass through when you're casting nice and easily. Normal sort of reel seat right at the back, and quite interesting when I was using it, I kept forgetting I wasn't using like a centre pin on like a match rod, and like I've been doing recently, and kept trying to reach for the rest of the handle. So yeah, I think that was contributing to my sort of poor casting technique, but I think with practice I'll get there, and I've watched a few more videos on YouTube on how to do it. So yeah, it's good fun learning, and you know, I caught some fish, so it's okay. Reel wise, it's the same, came with it, is like a 60 quid set. What annoyed me about this reel, I had like a decal thing there, like I can't even remember what it said on it. It's probably just a little black spot thing to cover that bit of moulding, and I don't know, it just, the exposure changed there. Block that window out a bit. Yeah, and that's fallen off. And it just really annoyed me. It just looks a bit unsightly. And yeah, so there you go. Such is life. I don't even know when it fell off, but I've had this set about 2 years and I've only used it a few times. The line is like it's like a fairly standard fly line. It's like a coated braid, and then it's tied a little loop to loop. That's how I've done it. I couldn't find much of a definitive answer on how you're supposed to attach the leader to the fly line actually online. There was a few ways of doing it, but this is a reasonably aerodynamic little knot. A lot of people use a double uni knot, but going from such a thick coated braid down to a relatively thin mono, you know, it does make for quite a cumbersome knot, if you like. The actual leader itself is a 5 foot intermediate leader, although I've not tried a floating leader or a sinking leader, so I don't know what the comparison is. But this sunk quite quickly, to be honest. A bit too quick for my liking, because I was using like a nymph fly that sunk. Anyway, obviously this tapers down from quite a thick, probably something like 0.8 millimeters there, right down to quite a fine mono, and then that's for 5 foot. Then I've used a stainless steel ring that that my mate Tom, actually, the first time I went fly fishing with him, he told me to use these to save losing any of your leader. So you can just tie that on, and then you use your tippet tied to that. And I guess this actually does, you know, the comparable to a tiny fly. This is probably about half the weight, so you're adding a little bit of casting weight, which I think helps you get a bit of presentation as the line lays on the water, because you don't want it to kind of slap down and spook fish, especially if you're fishing on the surface. I didn't use any tippet as such. I don't know if tippet's a technical thing or not, but I used about a 18-inch bit of 4 pound fluorocarbon. It sinks quickly as well. So all in all, I was getting the fly down there quite a lot. So first hour I didn't fish with anything other than just a fly tied to the line, and I got a few casts and it was getting down there, but I felt it was getting too deep too quickly, and I just didn't feel like I could get the presentation. And I was also getting a bit skeptical about bite indication and whether I was getting bites and stuff like that, so I was getting a bit paranoid. So what I ended up doing was putting on, I think I mentioned this in the video, is putting on a little float, or what they call them in fly fishing is a strike indicator. This is gone. This has come out of that trout magnet kit, just because I just had one in my bag, and it you know, the strike indicators that they use on fly fishing are quite often just a little bit of foam or polystyrene, which basically what this is with a peg in it. So yeah, so that gave me a better casting distance, and it actually gave me good bite indication, especially because I struggled with sort of the wind sort of blowing it, and also I didn't want to retrieve the fly properly like lots. I just wanted to just kind of just twitch it a bit, and so this helped me keep the fly at the same depth, twitch it about a bit without doing a full retrieve. Now, maybe that's my technique that didn't allow me to do that very well. But anyway, that's what I found. And you could actually really see the bites with it, like float fishing. So maybe that's a bit not a purist way of fly fishing, but at the end of the day, I caught fish on artificial flies, so I'm happy. I've also made a little balsa version, just a little, because I like to try and make my own floats and only use my own floats that I make now as a kind of point of principle, really. And that's just a tiny bit of balsa with a kebab skewer through it. Is that focused? Probably not. Maybe it won't focus the lessons. Anyway, that's what it is. And you can either fix that with a double rubber top and bottom if you want to sort of remove it, or it's got an eye on it, so you can fish it, you know, with stops or whatever. Just a bit closer version of the foam bobber as well. So that's pretty much what I was doing technique-wise and how I was fishing it. So other than that, I don't think there's a lot more to say. I probably have forgotten something, but there we go. Such is life. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please hit that thumbs up. And also a new call to action. I'm going to ask you to share my videos. I never really ask anyone to do that, but if you're on Facebook groups and stuff like that, and you think someone else might enjoy my videos or criticise them or whatever you want to do, give the link a copy and stick that in your Facebook feed and share it with some of your Facebook groups. I'll be much obliged. Thanks again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed making it, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Fish on.